He's the creator and author of Celebrity Service and OMG Marketing. He's inspired brands including McDonald's, Emirates, and Xerox to create award-winning ideas to outperform the competition. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome all the way from the United Kingdom, fellow and PSAE, Geoff Ramm.
Do you treat all your customers the same? Do you treat everybody with the same high level of service, no matter what day of the week, no matter how you're feeling, no matter who they are? Does everybody receive the highest levels of service from you? This was a question I asked many years ago to 300 entrepreneurs at a conference in the United Kingdom. That day, half of the room nodded. Yeah. Apart from one woman who sat in the front row just off to my right. Your lucky seat for the next 7 minutes. She didn't nod. She shouted out. Absolutely, Geoff! Oh. You see, we don't do this in England. As a professional speaker, when I ask for interacting, I don't get it. Do you know what I mean? You know what I mean? That's good. That's fine. She shouted out. I was like, oh, right, okay. And I couldn't help myself. I said, what sort of business have you got? She says, I've got a boutique store here in the town. I said, what is it you do? She says, we design and make handmade children's toys, homeware and kitchenware out of wood, metal, or stone. She says it's rather expensive, quite exclusive. I said, oh, fantastic. I said, come on, give me some ideas. Give me some ideas. What is it you do that's so special? Tell everybody else. She says it's not all about sales. It's about the experience. When people walk into the store, there's two big red leather settees that can sit down, relax, have a look at the products, have a look at the brochure, and relax. I said, wow, okay, good. Anything else? She said, we serve tea and coffee. I said, right. How much? She said, it's free. I kid you not, ladies and gentlemen, everybody in the room wrote that idea down. It's if it's the greatest thing they'd ever heard. And out of nowhere, and I mean nowhere, I asked her the following question that inspired this keynote, that inspired the book, that is inspiring brands the world over. I said, but what happens if a celebrity were to come into your business tomorrow? She said, like who? I said, I don't know. I said, do you like men or women? She says, I like men. I says, okay. Think of an A-list celebrity, Hollywood, movie hunk. And she thought for a few seconds. And she shouted out two names. She said, George and Brad. Now we're going to see many slides over the next 4 days, and some of you are thinking, that's the greatest slide I've seen in my life. I said, okay, picture the scene. George Clooney's been making a movie here for the last 6 months. He's heard all about your wonderful products and the wonderful service that you provide. So he calls you up this afternoon. He says, hi, I'm George Clooney. I'm a sexy Hollywood god. We've just finished the shoot. I fly home tomorrow. I've heard all about your wonderful products. If I come to your store tomorrow, I would like to buy from you. He said, but I've got two problems. He says, the first is the paparazzi. They've been following me around for 6 months. I am tired. I have had enough. He said the second problem is a nice problem, but it's still a problem. He said fans, autograph hunters. He said I'm selfied to death. People know where I am before I know where I am. He said, so if I come to your store tomorrow, would you close it just for me? I said, would you close it for George? I said, well, I'm speaking here today. I've got another conference tomorrow. I'm going to stay over in this area. If I come to your store tomorrow, would you close it for me? And that slight twist of her head that day caused a ripple of 299 people to turn on this poor lady that day. And a sound I have yet to hear since, but a sound that was something like, oh. She went, huh? I said, what's the matter? She said, I would treat customers differently. Of course you would. You would, you would, you would, I would. If your next customer, your next client was an A-list, celebrity, Hollywood, god or goddess, everything about your levels of service which you think are good would improve. What you say, what you do, how you react, how quickly you react, everything about your touch points and the service that you provide would change. You see, ladies and gentlemen, we think we're delivering a high level of service. But if an A-list celebrity would a tweet, email, walk into our office, call us, your service levels go to there. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the gap. The gap you don't realize exists within yourself, within your brand. It's called the celebrity service gap. It's a gap that if you can fill, no other competitor in your marketplace can touch you for the service that you provide. That happened live on stage. Live. Right there in the moment, I asked this question, and everything would change about your service. And the only guarantee I can give you this is because of the answer that she gave to my next question. I went back to this lady, I said, what else would you do for George tomorrow morning? Some of you have got your own answers, that's good. She came up with 6 ideas in 30 seconds. This is somebody who a few minutes before was like, absolutely, Geoff, can't be any better. But 6 ideas in 30 seconds. She said them so quickly, I can only remember 4. It's the only regret I've ever had in my business life. I cannot remember those 2. But let me tell you the 4 that she said. She said, ooh, I would get my hair done. Really? Am I honestly going to repeat this on the NSA stage one day? That's not exactly groundbreaking, is it? She said, I'd wear my best dress. Look what just happened. We can have a lot of fun with this, but her image that was there has suddenly gone to there. Her image. She said, we have a beautiful oak floor in the studio. It's needed varnishing for the last 12 months. I would varnish it tonight. Billy Connolly, the famous Scottish comedian, his greatest ever line, the Queen thinks the world smells of paint. And the 4th thing that I remember from that day, she said, she said, I would get rid of the tea and coffee. And everybody went, no! It's the greatest idea I've ever had. I've written it down. She said, no. I would get the proper coffee. She'd been serving instant for all these years, and she found a way to improve what was already better than the competition. She found a way to improve her business. She found a way to improve herself with one question and one question only. If your next client, your next customer was an A-list celebrity, Hollywood god or goddess, everything you do would change. And for change, see improve. And for improve, see outperform your competitors. With one question. That's what happened live on stage that day. It's changed everything. That is the philosophy of celebrity service. But it's also a plan. It's a 9-stage plan. Celebrity stands for consistency, excitement, love, engagement, bravado, response, independence, thank you, and you and your team. The 9 components that you can look at within yourself, within your team, and completely redesign and redefine your levels of service. So what does it look like? What does celebrity service look like in the real world? Let me share you one of my favorite stories. For those of you who want to take a photograph of George and Brad, do it now. You have 3 seconds. 2, 1, they've gone. Let's come to engagement. Possibly the most overused word in the business dictionary. Client engagement, employee engagement, 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 engagement. When it comes to celebrity service, it's this. It's the questions that we ask, listening to the response. And within that response, there are some gems. There are some little golden nuggets that if you can use, you can give it back to the client in a greater personalized way. That is pure engagement. Our daughter, Grace, her love and her passion is art. She's very, very artistic, very, very creative. Wherever we're at home or we're on holiday, this is her passion, this is her love, this is what she loves to do. Very, very artistic. She loves to cut, stick, glue, paint, color in, you name it. This is her passion. We were 2 weeks from her 4th birthday. 2 weeks. I'm in London. I've got a conference in London, and my train was on a fixed ticket back to Newcastle from London King's Cross at 4 o'clock. The conference finished a little bit earlier than what everybody had thought. It finished at 12 noon. I have now got 4 hours to waste, to spend in London. What do I do? And I thought to myself, I wonder if I can go and buy Grace a little something extra, a little something. You see, we'd already bought her the sort of child's bike and the doll. But I wondered if I could just buy a little art, craft product, something a little bit different that I can't buy back home. So I went to a store called Hamley's, also known as the world's most famous toy store. For those of you who've been to the store, it's 7 stories tall, and the 3rd floor is the girls' department. All the way down the middle of the store is an escalator well, going up to the bottom and all the way to the top. And on the edge of the escalator well, there's a table on every corner. On top of the table on every corner is a demonstration of the products, of the toys that you can buy. So I get up to the 3rd floor, I've got my suit on, I've got my case, and I walk up to the 3rd floor, and I get around the corner, and there's the first table. On top of the table is an easel. On top of the easel is a great big piece of white paper. In front of the table is a row of children in a semicircle all gathered round. Behind the children are the parents. Behind the parents, I wonder what this product is. And this is the product. It's a grey plastic tray with 6 slabs of coloured paint and a brush. The member of staff dips it in water, but she rolls it over 3 colours at the same time. She said, this, boys and girls, is how you do the butterfly. And the children were like, oh. And the parents were like, ooh. Look at that! It's a butterfly in 3 different colors. It's like a magic brush. Rolls it over another 3 colors. She said, this, boys and girls, is how you do the caterpillar. She says, if you buy today, you get free stencils. The stencils are worth £10. The product is £20 for 6 bits of paint and a brush. But this is the offer. And if you buy today, you get free stencils. A few people bought, and then everybody dispersed. But I'm still stood here. What should I do? Grace doesn't need this. It's far too expensive for it, but she would love it. She doesn't need it, she would love it. And I'm just in this flux. What should I do? What should I do? This member of staff notices that I'm stood in the background. So she takes 2 steps forward and insert the greatest engaging question of all time, bar none. She said, is this for anybody special? Fuck off. Yeah. And I just spilled the beans. I said, yeah. My daughter, she loves to cut, stick, glue, paint, very artistic. It's her birthday in a couple of weeks' time. I'm just having a look for some ideas. She says, oh, if you buy today, you get free stencils worth £10. I said, I've seen the deal. I've seen the whole show. But I've just walked in. You're the first thing I've seen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a little walk around the shop. And if I don't see anything else I like, I'll pop back. Insert the second greatest engaging customer service question of all time, bar none. What's your daughter's name? Grace? If you don't come back, would you give this to Grace on her birthday from me? And I handed over a £20 note. I said, on one condition. She said, what's that? I said, I want your photograph. She said, what for? I said, I'm going to share this story for the next 30 years. Ladies and gentlemen, meet Julia. No! Do not clap this! Do you know how many times Grace has used this? What can we learn? What can you learn from somebody in a toy shop selling paint? to 4-year-olds. Whatever makes you smile, whatever makes your eyebrows raise, whatever makes you part with money, learn from it. Learn. How do you send your proposals out? What do you send out to clients? Is it the same old with a different date? Or is it highly personalized? Full color? Is it showing your brand off to the greatest it can be to that potential booker, that potential bureau, that potential client? Create the materials where you're inspired from the people that make the biggest difference. Ladies and gentlemen, you think you're delivering a high level of service, but if an A-list celebrity, Hollywood, movie god or goddess with a tweet, email, walk in, become your next client, your service levels were there. They're now going to go to there. That is the gap. With consistency, excitement, love, engagement, bravado, response, independence, thank you, and you and your team, you can completely outperform the competition. I wish you every success. Thank you. Thank you very much.